Good morning, South Park. Hey, it is Tuesday, January the 21st. Fifth grade science with your boy Anderson here, coming at you live. Okay, hey, as a review from last week, um, I know we checked the test. Everybody did very well on the test. So we're pretty good. Got a little bit of Al Green playing in the background here. What I wanted to cover today is to make sure everybody understands what we're doing here. Number one, it's a FID day, which means you still are at school in theory, but it's a little bit too dangerous for you to be at school or to get to school because of the busing and the weather. So the teachers are teaching you a lesson from home. All right. So with that being said, today I want to review the water cycle, and then I'm going to talk to you about the windward and leeward sides of mountains. Does everybody understand? So we're going to do a little bit of review. The very first thing, these notes are still back with the other notes. So if we would go back here and we were talking about acid rain, and we were talking about hurricane and Hurricane Katrina and California current, the Gulf Stream current, all of this is still on one set of notes. So if we go all the way back, we were talking about the hydrosphere and snow, hail, frost, and glaciers, and where water exists, and groundwater versus freshwater versus surface water. The hydrosphere, these are all the same notes. So they're all together. Does everybody understand? So don't think just because I'm starting to talk about a new topic, it's something different. This is still all in that same chapter. Okay, all in that same chapter. Okay, very first thing that I want to look at as I get down here to it. Acid rain, the geosphere. We talked about all this on the last notes. Okay, make sure that everyone knows, and this is something where we're going to do when we get back to school on Thursday. Now, right now, as scheduled, there's an academic games tournament that will take place on Thursday. So everybody, if you're in fifth grade and you're in academic games, Mr. Criswell and myself are going to try to get out the information to you. But if it fails to reach you, you can take it from here. On Thursday, we're going to be heading up to Seneca Valley as long as they have school in order to take place in the academic games tournament. So everybody that's on academic games should be practicing current events. All right. Now, with that being said, the water cycle. Quick question. Everybody, what's the most important part of the water cycle? Now, a couple kids I got in class, because a couple kids heard water cycle, and they obviously thought that water is the most important thing for the water cycle. That is incorrect. The most important thing for the water cycle is right here. Right here. Our friend, Mr. Sun. Mr. Sun once again shows up. Mr. Sun heats the liquid water. Now, on this little diagram, it's called liquid water. I call it surface water. The sun heats the surface water. That surface water warms up. It becomes a gas through a process called, give it to me, 3, 2, 1, say it. That's right, evaporation. It's called evaporation. That evaporation goes up into the atmosphere where it mixes with dirt and dust and forms clouds. All right, those clouds condense, and then we have 4 types of precipitation, which right here, 4 types: rain, snow, sleet. And obviously right now we're having a problem with snow right now. Summertime, springtime, we get our rain. Sleet, we never want that. That is a problem. That's when everything ices over. And hail, that's mainly something in the late summer. We'll talk more about hail. It is frozen raindrops that there's an updraft that pushes up way up into the sky. It freezes and it comes back down. I think I showed you a couple videos on the damage that hail can do. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Lauritsen's daughter, who's in for Mrs. Wonderland next door to me, her car, I believe 2 years ago, was, I don't want to say the word destroyed, but there was some severe damage to her car. caused by hailstones. All right? All right. Next topic, everybody. Right here. Clouds and mountains. Also, to my third period guys, the Cam and the Red Rocket. I know I owe you Gatorade. I lost the bet. Baltimore got beat by Buffalo. I did not see that coming. I thought Lamar was going to pull that one out, but I got Gatorade for you. I own up to my bets. Okay, the very first thing, clouds and mountains. This should be in red. And remember, you can either take your notes and do half or write down all the notes and then type it. Whatever works for you best. That is totally up to you. Moms and dads, whatever you feel most comfortable with at home, let your kids do it. But the very first thing that we should have is clouds and mountains. Everything else that I talked about was a review, and we should be sitting on, in red, size, I believe 18 we call it, clouds and mountains. Right below clouds and mountains, pick a picture of a beautiful mountain. All right? Everyone should have that right now. Get your picture uploaded. You should be good. Picture uploaded. All right, perfect. Let's get moving here. Oh, actually, I'm going to shrink mine down just a tad. All right. Click off of that. All right. Next note, very important. The side of the mountain where the wind hits is called the windward side. So let's just look at this side. So if the wind is coming along and it hits this side of the mountain first, this side, that is the windward side of the mountain. Windward. It's getting hit by the mountains. Windward. Windward. So the air is coming, the wind is coming, boom, hits this side of the mountain. This side of the mountain is the windward side. So go ahead and put that down. Notice, moms and dads, kids at home, my windward side is in red. If it's in red, kids, tell what your parents that mean, or tell your parents what does that mean. You will see that on a quiz or a test. Now, our next big test, let's say the 1st of February, maybe, we should be coming up. All right? The windward side of the mountain. So this side of the mountain is getting hit by the wind is the windward side of the mountain. The side of the mountain where the wind leaves is called the leeward side. Notice leeward is in red. This is the windward side, so the back side of the mountain here, that's the leeward side. Windward comes up, exits over to the leeward side of the mountain. All right? I'll be good to you. It's little Al Green. Yeah. Do we have it? All right, the windward side of the mountain, leeward side. So I go, hey, kids, what the side of the mountain that gets hit first by the wind? Windward side. Oh, Mr. Anderson, I know that one. It's the windward side. And I go, okay, the back side of the mountain where the wind leaves, what is that one called? The leeward side of the mountain. Everyone have it? You should have it. I'll take some time in case you're writing it down. And remember, if I'm going too fast, you got this pause button. Pause it. And then you can keep writing your notes. Ready? Hit the pause. Unpause me. There you go. So simple, so easy. Now, once again, there should be no one that has any excuse saying, oh, I didn't know what to do. I try to keep it simple and direct. Moms and dads, I put the notes out. They study the notes, and we're good to go. All right? Windward side of the mountain, leeward side of the mountain. All right? Now, the Oregon phenomenon, this is in the state of Oregon, and I'm going to explain that in 1 second. The Oregon phenomenon. Put that down, please. This is the state of Oregon. Now, the state of Oregon, if you go out west, you can see a lot of crazy things in the state of Washington, California, Oregon, Idaho. You have this phenomenon. Now, when people say, oh, Washington or Oregon, you imagine these big, giant trees, which is true. You do see that in part of those states. But the other side of the state, it's desert. Oregon is desert. What do you mean a desert? It's, when you think Oregon, you think of these big giant trees. That is true, but there's a mountain range that goes down the center of Oregon, and I'm going to talk to you about it in 1 second. Put it down, the Oregon phenomenon. That mountain range, windward, leeward, landward, leeward. And I'll explain that in a couple seconds here. Okay. In the Oregon phenomenon, you have the state of Oregon. You know what? Let me even make this even easier for us, kids. I didn't want to hit that button. Let's upload from where. Let's go Oregon state map. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, let's put that one in. All right, it went in the wrong space, but no, I'm good to go. All right, so you see this. This is the state of Oregon. There is a mountain range that runs right through the center of Oregon. This side of the mountain is the windward side. This side is the leeward side. All right. There's a great town right here if you ever want to go for a great vacation, moms and dads. It's called Bend, Oregon. Look it up. It is tremendous. It is tremendous. All right. So in this map of Oregon, let me get it right here. You have the windward side coming here and then the leeward side here. Now, what does that mean? And I'll explain it to you in 1 second. All right. Next thing I want you to do. If you drive across the state of Oregon in about 3 hours, you will see a beach. You will see a temperate rainforest, and you will see mountain glaciers. Let me put an S on that. Mountain glaciers and a desert. Now, I know that sounds crazy. In 3 hours, so the time it takes to drive from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or South Park, you can jump on a turnpike, let's say Harrisburg. In 3 hours, you will see the beach in Oregon and Pacific Ocean. You will see a temperate rainforest. You will see mountain glaciers, and you will see a desert in 3 hours. How about that? All right. The wide range of landscapes is caused by the interaction between air masses in the hydrosphere, water, and the mountains in the geosphere, rocks. So let me do this one time real quick, just so that we have it. I want to put that in red, everybody. All right, so when you're driving across the state of Oregon, and I'm going to explain how this affects weather here in Pittsburgh. You're leaving the beach, then you're driving, then you go up into the mountains. Up in the mountains, that's where you have a temperate rainforest. Notice the word I said, rainforest. Then when you go up, get up way high above 11,000 feet, you're going to run into some glaciers. Then you're going to start on the downside of the backside of the mountain, which is called, everyone, that's right, the leeward side of the mountain. Then you're in desert country of Oregon. All right? Desert country of Oregon. So let's go back down here. All right, if you drive across the state of Oregon in about 3 hours, you will see a beach, which I already mentioned, Pacific Ocean, temperate rainforest. Keyword right here is rainforest. And you will see mountain glaciers and a desert. All right? This wide range of landscapes is caused by the interaction between the air masses, let's just say weather, and the hydrosphere, and which is water, and the mountains in the geosphere. All right? This is the best map or best diagram I can explain. So when you go up here to where you insert a picture, I want you to type in windward side, leeward side, and this one should pop up. This one is tremendous. I'm going to shrink it down just so it's easier for me to, it won't let me shrink down here. I think I got as small as I can. This is the windward side of the mountain. So this is the Pacific Ocean. This is Oregon. Pacific Ocean picks up moisture, water. Picks up water. And it goes up the mountain. If you notice the windward side, you have a lot of what? Rain, a lot of precipitation. If you go up high enough, high up in the mountains, you're going to get a lot of, that's right, look out your window, a lot of snow. Then the back side of the mountain is what we call a rain shadow. So the front side of the mountain gets all the moisture. The back side of the mountain, rain shadow. This happens around here in Pennsylvania. It happens around here in Pennsylvania. It happens around Seven Springs when they always say, oh, up in the mountains, up in the elevation, you will get more snow. The reason why, this is it right here. You have all the wind coming in. It hits the mountains. This is Seven Springs. So if you're going up the turnpike around Somerset, as you start to go up those mountains around Latrobe, Fort Necessity area, those mountains, the clouds are moving and they go up because they're hitting the mountains and they're forced to go up. And as you go up, those clouds, condensation, remember we talked about how water evaporates. When it goes up, that water is wrung out, kind of like a washcloth or a spun, out of those clouds, and it dumps a whole bunch of rain or snow on the what side of the mountain? The windward side of the mountain. When those clouds are empty, they're all out of precipitation. You come over here and you're in a rain shadow. Now we're going to talk about the rain shadow later, but think about it. If I got rid of all the water, what's on this side? Absolutely nothing. Now this has had some effects. If you go to a place called Lake Tahoe, California, or Truckee, California. In Truckee, California, you come out of San Francisco, then you go up to the mountains, and you can get hammered with snow. Last year, if you look up Lake Tahoe or Truckee, California, or Paradise, California, I think one snowstorm, they got 8 feet. 8 feet of snow. The reason why, these clouds were full of moisture from the California current, and they went up the mountains, and they got hammered with snow. Now, on the back side of the mountain is dry. We have a rain shadow. Once again, windward side of the mountain, it's coming up. All the moisture is wrung out of those clouds, which leaves us the rain shadow on the leeward side of the mountain. I can't explain it any better than that. We have the landward side of the mountain and the leeward side of the mountain. All right? In Oregon, the wind blows from the west, bringing lots of moisture from the Pacific Ocean. What I just said. Go ahead, put that note down. All right, it's bringing a lot of moisture from that Pacific Ocean. Got it? In Oregon, the wind blows from the west, coming from the Pacific Ocean, bringing lots of moisture from the Pacific Ocean. The towns on the windward side of the mountain, such as Salem, Oregon, right here, they get a ton of precipitation, a ton of rain. But, hang on, let me get to it. The towns on the windward side of the mountain, such as Salem, Oregon, receive more than 50 inches of precipitation each year. Like Bend, Oregon, on the leeward side of the mountain, only receive about 12 inches of precipitation in a year. So there's a difference of 38 inches of rain. 38 inches of rain. And I'm going to see if I can put that same picture on this side. Upload, search the web. There it is. I want to put it in there. You know what? It's not going to let me put it in there because I have my picture right here. And the insert button's down there, so I'm scared to mess it up. All right. Like Bend, Oregon, the leeward side of the mountain only receives about 12 inches of precipitation each year. All right. Between these mountains is a mountain range called the Three Sisters. The Three Sisters Mountain receive about 120 inches of precipitation each year. Now, if you ever go to Bend, like I told you to go to, you will look outside of the Bend, and there were 3 mountain peaks. And they're right there, and they're called the Three Sisters. If you want, you can upload a picture of the Three Sisters. And you can put those right in your notes. Put a picture of them right in your notes. I'm scared to do it right now because I don't want to mess up anything. And my beautiful, beautiful face is right here, and that insert button is right below it. All right? So let's think about what we covered today. Very first thing I want everyone to know is make sure that you know that the water cycle, the most important part of the water cycle is that's right, the sun. Thank you very much. That sun heats up the water, surface water. That water evaporates, mixes with dust and dirt, forms clouds. Those clouds condense, and precipitation is formed. When it falls as precipitation, there's a possibility that it's going to hit the windward side of a mountain. If it hits the windward side of a mountain, all the moisture is wrung out of the clouds, and it produces a rain shadow side of the mountain. Does everybody understand? So you have the windward side and a leeward side. I want you to know that very much. Now, up here on my notes, I think I messed something up. And I want to go back and see if I can fix it. Hang on. Let me do undo. Undo again. There we go. I got it back to the original thing. Hey, it's a live studio audience. What can you say? So Salem, Oregon. This is on the windward side. Pacific Ocean. Moisture comes in. All this area right here. Now, don't go by this. This is by how you do a plant hardiness scale. Don't go, well, it's brown over here like the desert. It's just a picture of Oregon that I could find. There's this town of Bend right here. The water comes off the Pacific Ocean, hits these mountains, goes up the mountains. When it goes up in the mountains, it condenses, it shrinks down, and it gets wrung out like a washcloth, like a sponge. And all that water comes down. Now, if you remember, I said Salem gets about 50 inches of rain, Bend 20 inches of rain. And right around Bend here, these are the Three Sisters, and up in this mountain chain right here, this mountain range gets about 120 inches of snow every year. So think my room is about 12 feet tall from floor to ceiling. So about 12 of my rooms of snow comes right down this mountain range. All right? That's called the Oregon phenomenon. Windward side of the mountain, leeward side of the mountain. Windward, prevailing winds. All prevailing means is it's coming towards you. This is a big college word that means prevailing means it's coming towards you. It's coming towards you. If you're playing baseball, if you're in the batter's box, the pitch comes to you, it's a prevailing pitch. It's coming to you. If you play softball, the same thing. It's a prevailing softball. Don't let these big words fool you. Once again, I will have you prepared. It's not a college class that I'm teaching it like a college class, but this is the same information that you would learn in a college or at least a junior level, senior level high school class. Windward side of the mountain, leeward side of the mountain. Make sure you talk to your parents about it. Say, hey, Mom, Dad, when you're going to Philadelphia, to Breezewood. As you're coming up towards Seven Springs, what side of the mountain that is that? And they'll go, well, I don't know. Say, Mom, Dad, that's the windward side of the mountain. And when you come up and you're starting to come down, you're on the leeward side of the mountain. All right. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about rain shadows. All right. Hey, stay warm. Help your parents. Help your grandparents. If you have any questions, email me. I check my email like every 10 minutes. So check your email. Or excuse me, send me an email. Check your notes. And I'm uploading everything. All right. Take care. As always, go Eagles. And yes, boys from third period, I got your Gatorade. Bye-bye. Little Al Green, stay together. Can't go wrong with that.